Welcome to On the Chain.
So he put this up and he said, I've always assumed that XRP would sell off hard after the case ended. Well, thanks for letting us know, but I don't remember anybody like hard pressed to ask you, like, gosh, the burning question is, Hugo Philion, for your project you're running, please explain to us what you think is going to happen after the case ends. Please, we have to know. We must know. We can't live without knowing this. Please.
Please.
We always thought it would sell off
hard. Do you think there's going to be a hard sell-off? Where was the hard sell-off?
That's what he thought. And so this is because the primary, but not only use case for XRP is and has always been cross-border transactions, and the primary force behind developing this market is still Ripple. Since late 2020, Ripple have been meaningfully prevented in their ability to develop the market due to regulatory uncertainty. Now Ripple have some clarity, but they're 2.5 years delayed in their work. In the meantime, stablecoin providers have presented a viable, if high-friction alternative and have been fairly successful in building out this market. Jeff, I don't know what he's talking about there. This line here is kind of suspect too. He says, I suspect Ripple will generate some success move going forward in the cross-border payments, especially in quarters that are traditionally underserved by TradeFi. Progress is likely to be slow, however, due to the increased suspicion in TradeFi of crypto after SBF and all the other nonsense. On the flip side, there are plenty of people working to develop new use cases for XRP and the XRP ledger, but these will take time to bear fruit.
I agree with that part. I agree with the end, right? That there's other people, that there's people working in this space that are building other use cases for XRP. That if all he said was that, just delete everything else, redline everything else.
But it's the way it's said. It's like
it's shitty.
Forget about TradeFi because it's going to be because of what happened with SBF and whatever. Yeah, well, XTC seems to be progressing pretty. The whole idea of XRP doing trade, finance. I mean, come on. The thing is like when somebody is really excited about your opinion and you got to dump in there, you got to put your opinion in there. Fine. But what I don't understand about this is even Ripple was early investor into. And why would you just? I mean, this looks like a Ron DeSanctimonious moment here, where you just like dump on the other guy. It's like, hey, listen, why would you dump on Ripple? You understand that the community you leveraged that are XRP fans, and of course, Ripple does a lot. But why? Well, what's the dumping here?
Exactly. So hodled auto, nobody would know Hugo if it wasn't for XRP holders. They leveraged the XRP community, and now they're shitting. Now he's shitting all over the XRP community with this statement. It's not about what he's saying about Ripple. It's the way he's transferring the message, the way he's trying to talk about it. It's like he doesn't have a clear understanding of the financial infrastructures of the world, of the global economies. He might understand his technology, he might understand the interoperability, and he's never going to be on our show, but this goes back to early.
I think that's because we goofed on his sweater that one time.
We did goof on his sweater, but that was for just being fun. But
yeah, goofing on.
It probably wasn't a fair thing considering what we wear T-shirts and whatnot that we were goofing on a sweater. But the point is that we also said
we've also defended Flare quite a bit.
We've defended Flare. I like the Flare project a lot. Focus on your technology. Don't come out and upset everybody within the community with some of the just focus on doing what you do really well. Even though it's fun because you banter back and forth with him a little bit on Twitter, on X, but with Hugo, we said early on he was immature in his business sense, for the project, meaning not immature like mindset, but he was in the beginning stages of his business when he was developing it and made some mistakes. And like the airdrop was a big mistake. Then the Songbird airdrop was a big mistake. Some of the statements he made were a big mistake. Getting in arguments with the community at that point, big mistake. This is another one, big mistake.
Johnny,
just the way he's phrasing it. And he's not 100% wrong, because like I said, I agree with that last statement that, we're not there yet. We're not even close. The XRPL we've always said that Ripple is one project. They've been building, utilizing that tech. There's other companies around the world building with it. It's still new and recent development, but we need more. We need a lot more projects utilizing XRPL, utilizing the technology, utilizing the DEX, utilizing everything that's built within the XRPL. Some of that was significantly delayed due to the regulatory uncertainty in the U.S. marketplace. And that impacted potentially other people developing in other parts of the world. I think that's going to open up a little, but that's like one part.
Jeff, do you think when he posted this, do you think like, hey, I'm going to go post this crap about, I knew it would dump hard. I knew it looked like Ripple lost all this energy and time, and maybe they can get it back, but who knows? Like before you post it and hit send on X, do you really think that like any good was going to come out of it? Like, so like why post it at all, right? So that's the whole point. It's like Johnny comes in and says that Sugarcoat says, you really think they sat idle for 2.5 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Hugo, come save us. Hugo says, no, of course not. But convincing people to do something a new way, for example, cross-border payments, when there's regulatory uncertainty is practically impossible.
Oh my God. He's so clueless. He doesn't even understand. He doesn't understand. He doesn't even understand what RippleNet is, right? RippleNet has signed a lot of contracts with a lot of banks. They're taking on Swift. Swift is a messaging platform. RippleNet, a component of it, is a messaging platform. It is difficult. They're doing something more modern. The uphill battle is that he's going to banks that are part of the conglomerate of Swift. Swift is a behemoth that's been in power since 1974. It's a global behemoth of banks, and there's a lot of money and a lot of power brokers there. That's what they're taking on.
And someone said, so why did you write this?
Yeah,
it's a really good question. Like,
it is a question. What was circulating in his brain?
Like, why did you write this? Because a large section of the community seems to be confused as to why the switch has not been flipped. And I thought I'd give my 2 sats. You see what he did there, Jeff? Sats.
I see that. That's very
cool. Sats and Satoshis.
I like that. That's very cool.
All right. That was all right. I'm giving him some good credit there. So listen, I understand there's a lot of hopium. I understand there's a lot of this going around. There's a lot of switch being flipped and all that. But you know what? The thing is like, we were waiting for you to come in there and just basically shit all everybody. It's like he wanted to tell people the switch is going to get flipped, but is it your responsibility to tell people? And why are you so concerned whether the switch is flipped or not? And I know he's saying this kind of in jest because a lot of sections seem to be confused as to why. Because when we say first of all flip the switch, I'm kind of joking, Jeff. Does anybody think there's a switch? I know there's been memes where David Schwartz goes in and actually flips the switch, and of course Oscar, the famous one, flip the switch, Brad, flip the switch. It's like,
I think Gary has a switch.
But do you think that we really are like there's a real switch that gets flipped? Hell yeah, there is. I mean, probably not, but anyway. Now he says that I don't. So I don't know what name that is right there or whatever. I must be new. LOL says I don't think it's because they're 2.5 years behind. They never stopped building. I just think it's not ready.
That's right.
No
it's not ready.
Anything. It's just not time. And honestly, I think people look at talking about Ripple out of place and bashing XRP. Just a heads up, right? Like, hey,
he's talking about it on the heels of a monumental court decision. Instead of coming out and saying this was a historic moment for crypto, that a judge has now ruled on a digital asset and deemed it a non-security, and here's how it's going to impact my project. Instead of him saying that, now that people would be interested in.
So that could be part of it. Hugo, then his response to that was, so despite being a sizable builder around the XRP ecosystem, it mustn't venture an opinion that differs from the unbridled hopium that the consensus consensus noted. So this right here is very sarcastic, and it's like, dude, I get you're having a little bit of fun. So despite being a sizable builder around the XRP ecosystem, I shouldn't, because he's building in the ecosystem, he shouldn't put his opinion out there that differs with the opinion of hopium and consensus.
He definitely should. He definitely should, though, Chip. He definitely should put his opinion out there. And
he did.
And he did. And what is his opinion? Is his opinion, is he negative on XRP? Is he negative on this historic court ruling? Does he have an opinion on the historic court ruling? Or is he just is he thinking that, hey, everyone's involved in hopium and they want to flip the switch? I haven't seen anyone talk about flip the switch. I saw a lot of people that said, hey, I thought XRP would have gone a lot higher. I thought it would go over $1 and settle back kind of to where 70, 80 cent mark, where almost where it's at. Maybe it was too soon.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.